Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, details on a fatal car crash in Fulton.
The prices for a major New York State event may be doubling.
And information for students regarding Ozfest this Friday.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Matthew Rivenburgh.
And I'm Reagan LaPage.
17-year-old Riley Bartlett and 16-year-old Brady Niver from G. Ray Bodley High School in Fulton were in a fatal car crash yesterday night. Riley was driving her mother's 2010 Dodge Journey on Route 48 in the town of Granby when her car crossed into oncoming traffic and collided with a 2014 Chrysler Town & Country. Bartlett died before police arrived, and Niver is in critical condition.
Bartlett and Niver were high school sweethearts together since the 7th grade. They were 10 days away from their first prom together, where Bartlett planned to wear a hot pink dress. She even had a matching dress for her double doodle dog, Susie. A vigil was held at 7 p.m. today for Bartlett in the G. Ray Bodley High School gymnasium, where attendees were asked to wear pink in honor of Bartlett's favorite color.
Mayor Billy Barlow has announced the largest paving plan in the history of the city of Oswego, with over $1 million worth of city streets on the schedule to be paved this year. Construction has already begun in the Trilum Garden neighborhood. The project is expected to last approximately 5 weeks, with streets being paved on both the east and west sides of the city. Motorists in the city should plan on avoiding the streets listed on the plan in the coming days, as crews will be milling and preparing to pave.
The annual end-of-year celebration of Ozfest will return Friday, May 5th, with free daytime activities from noon to 4 p.m., ending with a concert from headliner Party Next Door. The event will include 5 food trucks, Build-A-Buddies, games, and more, ending with a performance from Party Next Door and Aux Cord Wars. Ozfest will take place on the lawn and parking lot between Marano campus and the lake.
Senior zoology student Danielle Marchal will survey damage done by invasive species and track another species introduced to contain them thanks to a grant. Marchal's project, titled Surveys of the Emerald Ash Borer and its Introduced Parasitoids, received funding from the university's Scholarly and Creative Activity Committee. Marichal's faculty mentor, Karen Syme, introduced the idea to Marichal and gave her guidance through the entire process.
SUNY Oswego's English Honor Society, intermediate photography students, and Oswego Mayor Billy Barlow are collaborating on a new project. Titled One City, One Campus, One Community, it is a photography and writing exhibit that shows the partnership between the Oswego community and university. It highlights the learning and professional experience of recent graduates at Oswego. The organizations will be presenting their project tomorrow at 5 p.m. in Oswego City Hall.
Tickets to the New York State Fair will now cost $6 instead of $3 for adults. Parking prices have also gone up to $10 per vehicle instead of $5 per vehicle. In February, Governor Hochul proposed doubling the admission and parking prices to enter the New York State Fair in her budget. State lawmakers made the proposal permanent today.
New York City's Mayor Eric Adams has announced that the New York Police Department will begin using Apple tracking technology to help fight against a spike in vehicle thefts. Police in the city are giving out free AirTags, which are small devices that can be tracked via GPS, to residents of Castle Hill, Soundview, and Parkchester. The tags will be given to Apple product owners, as the AirTags are Apple products and will likely not be compatible with Android users.
The Food Bank of Central New York has just introduced their very own pasta sauce. By partnering with Giovanni Foods of Baldwinsville, the nonprofit agency was able to create their Pantry Classics red sauce. The new venture by the organization has the goal to raise money to help the hungry in the Syracuse area. The pasta can be found in Wegmans and Tops in Syracuse. Now let's get a look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Samantha Karlsson.
Yeah, so if you were around Oswego late this afternoon as that heavy rain was passing through, you might have heard a rumble of thunder and a quick flash of lightning. That continues for much of the week before temperatures do start to finally warm up for the last weekend here for SUNY Oswego students. And even some summer-like temperatures heading into finals week for the start of it. More information when we come back after the break. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up later tonight, how a major economic crisis was averted with America's second largest bank failure.
And why protests in France have been reignited.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like,
No.
what do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close-up of that one.
Need to
Matthew,
Broadcast news.
look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Samantha Karlsson, and before we talk about the rain that's going to continue for a few more days, taking a look back in history on this day in 1997, there was torrential rain falling over central South Dakota that brought up to 4.5 inches of rain. Luckily, we're not going to see that much rain as it is just a few heavy rain showers passing through the area. But we're definitely going to see some heavy downpours throughout that. And as we take a look outside, we can see that the rain is just south of Oswego and expected to more rain showers to come and head our way for into the night and into early tomorrow morning. But right now, it's around 46 degrees and cloudy. As I said, that rain will be moving in later tonight. So make sure if you do go out, you have your umbrella, as it could be heavy at times. Looking into for tomorrow, it's going to be another rainy day and pretty much all day with temperatures starting off around 42 degrees. The rain from tonight will be ending, but more showers will be coming through for the afternoon and could be heavy at times and even could see another rumble of thunder or flash of lightning like we did today. So keep heads up on that for tomorrow. And by the night, the showers continue and will be tapering off later into the night and for your Wednesday. And taking a look at the 7-day forecast, you can see that the temperatures are relatively steady. We're not going to see that warm up I mentioned earlier until about Thursday or Friday when the sun finally decides to come back out again. And more of the summer-like temperatures for your finals week on Monday, up to 65 degrees. I cannot wait for that. I don't know about you guys, but back to you at the desk.
Former President Donald Trump was denied a mistrial for the civil battery and defamation trial. Trump was sued by writer E. Jean Carroll, who accused him of raping her in the 1990s and then defaming her after denying her claims. Cross-examination of E. Jean Carroll resumed Monday morning. Trump's lawyer had argued Judge Lewis Kaplan made, quote, pervasive, unfair, prejudicial rulings against Trump, end quote. Trump has denied any wrongdoing.
Moving on to Illinois, where gun right advocates are asking the Supreme Court to step in on assault weapon bans. They're challenging both a city ordinance passed last year in Naperville, Illinois, that bans the sale of assault rifles, and an Illinois state law enacted this year prohibiting the sale and possession of assault weapons and magazines. They say Illinois courts are ignoring last year's ruling that expanded Second Amendment rights. They have submitted an emergency application to Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who oversees emergency appeals coming from that region of the country.
A major economic crisis is prevented after a weekend of tense negotiations. J.P. Morgan Chase is buying one of the most failed Republic Bank's assets. Chris Gwynn explains how it all went down and what it means for America's banks.
First Republic Bank branches opened their doors Monday morning under new management following the collapse of the regional lender.
The First Republic failure was a more traditional bank run. That money started to flow out and flow out fast.
Federal regulators seized control of the bank and its nearly $230 billion worth of assets before J.P. Morgan stepped in as a buyer. CEO Jamie Dimon expressing confidence on an investor call Monday morning.
Hopefully this helps stabilize everything. The American banking system is extraordinarily sound.
This is the second largest bank failure in U.S. history and the third U.S. bank to fail since March.
Interest rates have gone up at the fastest pace in 40 years. The economy's slowing. We're going to see more bank failures, but the system has proven to be surprisingly resilient.
J.P. Morgan Chase was already the largest bank in the United States before the buyout. Now new concerns.
Anytime there's a consolidation of market share, prices tend to go up.
Financial analyst Greg McBride says consumers should constantly be evaluating their banking options.
We've seen with checking accounts over the course of many years, monthly fees and balance requirements have gone through the stratosphere, but yet nearly 40% of banks offer a free checking account on a standalone basis. So there are alternatives out there.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
After the news was released on Monday, markets were flat with shares of J.P. Morgan Chase rising about 3%. Trading was briefly halted for the First Republic, whose stock fell 43%.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that the U.S. could default on its debt as soon as June 1st if Congress doesn't act soon. In a letter to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Yellen said the federal government will be unable to satisfy its obligations come early June and urged Congress to raise or suspend the debt limit before then. Yellen says that past debt limit impasses have shown that waiting until the last minute can cause serious harm, including damage to business and consumer confidence, as well as increased short-term borrowing costs for taxpayers. In the wake of Yellen's comments, President Biden called all four congressional leaders, including McCarthy, to meet with him on May 9th to discuss the debt limit.
And on the occasion of May Day, people across France have taken to the streets. The video shows protesters throwing fireworks and other projectiles at the police, who fired back with tear gas as they retreat and regroup. Demonstrators are protesting changes to the pension system that raises the retirement age from 62 to 64, and the Macron government that signed this reform into law 3 weeks ago.
Thousands, including 100 Americans, have been evacuated from Sudan to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Thousands have fled Sudan since the deadly fighting erupted in Sudan between rival military forces more than 2 weeks ago. Video shows people fleeing Sudan, people arriving in Saudi Arabia seeking refuge, and Saudi soldiers checking their documents. Thousands are still making the treacherous 830-kilometer journey from the capital Khartoum to the eastern port, hoping to board a ship to safety.
Coming up on WTOP-10, a famous musician is going to court over one of their songs.
And a long-standing policy surrounding COVID is being rolled back.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
no.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Did you know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close-up of that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. The policy requiring federal employees to be vaccinated will be repealed starting May 11th. The mandate became a source of controversy after the government kept it going for government workers only. But the White House says that although the mandate has saved lives, it's no longer necessary. The policy is set to expire the day the public health emergency for COVID expires.
New Twitter owner Elon Musk has recently come under fire by former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. When asked about the Musk acquisition, Dorsey criticized Musk's running of the site, saying Musk should have walked away from buying the site in the $44 billion sale last year. The comments come after Musk removed verification marks from any account not willing to pay a newly introduced subscription fee.
Estimates from the American Cancer Society predict diagnosis of more than 97,000 new melanomas this year. But there are ways to protect yourself. Mandy Gaither has more on how to keep your skin safe to mark an awareness campaign called Melanoma Monday.
It's one of the most common cancers in the U.S., but skin cancer is also one of the most preventable. While anyone can get melanoma, some risk factors make it more likely.
We think about age as a risk factor, skin color and hair color, so lighter skin and lighter hair, especially redheads, have an increased risk of melanoma.
Dermatologist Allison Larson with MedStar Health says other risk factors include sun exposure, whether it's short-term or long-term, especially when it leads to sunburns. Indoor tanning beds also increase risk, and so can family history and personal health history, as well as medications that suppress the immune system. The best way to lower the risk, protect your skin from the sun, whether that's through clothing or sunscreen. Larson recommends one that's at least 30 SPF or higher.
The brand, the type, honestly, it really doesn't matter as much as someone's willingness to use it and to reapply.
Larson says if possible, avoid the sun around midday when it's at its peak, and also keep an eye on your skin as early detection is critical.
And see if there's anything that looks irregular. See if there's anything that catches your eye because it has multiple colors, because it has a border that's shaped in an irregular way, maybe something larger than your other growths.
If something does stand out, Larson says that doesn't necessarily mean it's melanoma, but it's a good reason to see your doctor. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The average age of diagnosis for melanoma is 65. The American Cancer Society says the older a person gets, the more they're at risk for melanoma. But the organization says it's also one of the most common cancers in young adults.
The global workforce is projected to lose nearly 14 million jobs in the next 5 years thanks to artificial intelligence technology. As companies begin to implement AI technology, they will be adding millions of jobs to help with the integration. However, once the technology is implemented, millions more with jobs that can be done by the AI will be let go, ultimately leading to about 2% of current jobs being lost. The data was gathered in a WEF survey of nearly 800 companies.
British singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran is at the center of a new lawsuit in New York this week over accusations of copyright infringement. Sheeran is being accused of copying the chord progression from Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On for his 2014 hit song Thinking Out Loud. Despite the similarities, Sheeran's team argues that progression is common among pop songs and no copyright infringement took place. Coming up in sports, Thomas Tallarino.
Thomas, can you give us a quick preview?
Thanks, guys. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some Laker games over the weekend and what team made history on the Laker turf. Find out after the break.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one.
Broadcast
Look
news.
at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 News. I'm Thomas Tallarino with your Monday Night Sports Report. History was made in the lacrosse women's program Saturday as they reached their highest win total in team history of 13 with their win over SUNY Oneonta in the SUNYAC quarterfinals. The Lakers won in dominant fashion with a final score of 22-9. Oswego led the whole way behind their fast-paced offense that was led by Isabella Limbo, who had 9 goals on the day. The Lakers advanced to round 2 of the SUNYAC playoffs with a matchup against the Geneseo Knights. This matchup is set for Wednesday, May 3rd at 7 p.m. in Geneseo. From the turf to the links now, the Oswego golf team ends their season with 2 straight tournament wins after they won their spring invitational this past Saturday. The Lakers combined for a total score of 315. Jake Owens and Ryan Fecko finished first and second on the day with scores of 72 and 77. The Lakers as a team had 8 golfers finish top 32 in the event. Overall in the season, Oswego had 3 top 7 finishes. Congratulations on a great year, gentlemen. Switching our clubs for some baseball bats now, the Syracuse Mets fell to the Toledo Mudhens 12-2 yesterday. Tony Brunell got off to a rocky start for the Mets, giving up 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and the Mets couldn't keep up with the Mudhens bats as they were out-hit 13-6 on the day. On the year, though, the Mets are 14-13 after a month of games and look to get back on track this Tuesday when they start their home series against Lehigh Valley. Skating onto the ice now, the New York Rangers forced a Game 7 against the New Jersey Devils after a dominating Game 6 performance in Madison Square Garden. This series had some ups and downs from both sides, with both teams leading in the series. But tonight, it comes to an end, and we will see which team is moving on to the semifinals to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Currently, this game is tied in the second period 0-0 with no offense right now. Tune in to see whose Stanley Cup's hopes are staying alive for one more round. All right, we're going to head to MSG for some playoff basketball. We got Jimmy Butler and the Heat taking on the Knicks. We got a good old-fashioned rivalry. Jalen Brunson, Jimmy Butler, both looking to get back to the conference finals. Early on in the first, R.J. Barrett, he's going to play a little iso ball, knock that mid-range down. He had a team-high 26 points on the day. And then we see Jalen Brunson, smooth as jazz of that floater. He had a great game as well. And here we see Gabe Vincent. He's going to get the corner three. He's going to hit this one. It's going to be an and one. It's a 4-point play. Miami making a comeback. Jimmy Butler over to Vincent to Struz. He's going to tie this one up, 61-61. Alonzo Mourning's happy with that one. And then Brunson, he's going to miss this. Kevin Love, quarterback Love, he throws it to Jimmy Butler. That's an easy slam. And if it's not broke, do it again. Kevin Love gets the rebound, and he's going to send it back down to Jimmy Butler, and it's another two-hand slam. 25 points on the night for Butler. He's hyped. And now we see Kyle Lowry, the veteran, hit that little step back, gets that one to fall. Miami's leading late in the fourth. Where we see Brunson, though, the Knicks aren't giving up. He's going to hit another floater. He gets that one to fall. And now we see Kyle Lowry. It's no problem. He's going to knock this one down, and Miami's going to go up 10. Miami, they're going to win this one, 108-101. Jimmy Butler rolled the ankle, questionable for Game 2. But that right there, Miami Heat leads 1-0, and next game's Tuesday night in the Garden.
All right, Tommy, thank you. One of our very own SUNY Oswego students had a big accomplishment this week.
Freshman and WTOP producer Abby Schomburg won the Taco Bell Live Más Scholarship for the second year in a row. The scholarship is meant to help students who are using their passion to ignite change in their communities and beyond.
She has received a total of $22,000 from Taco Bell over the past 2 years for her passion for promoting kindness.
The scholarship is mainly for Taco Bell employees. However, the application is open to anyone.
Applications for next year's scholarship opens in November. You can find it on the Taco Bell Foundation's website. That's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Question Mark and the interview show.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
La la la. Free. La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen and become briefly